Hello, everyone. We're keeping that one in. Fuck it. I don't care. No take. No two takes for this one. After that fucking Power Rankings video, no. Hello, everybody. Welcome to StraightA. Dawson here.
Shoot.
Ben.
And welcome to our week 3 predictions. About on screen right now, you're going to see our little leaderboard going on about current scores. Of course, we're doing it with a couple. We're doing it with a couple other additions with some YouTube community members. Whatever. Go check them out. Their links in the description. Right now, number 1 be Kevin Walsh with 23-9. He's killing it. By the way, good for him. Wyatt's World 22-10 in second place. Also killing it. Great. Some guy named Trathan 21-11. Some bozo who's leading this fucking bozo of a channel by like 4 scores. Then we have a 5-way tie for 4th place with the betting line, me, Tom Grossi, TPS, and Ryan, all at 17-5. So just above that 50 mark. And then our loser of the week, Ben Hayes. Everybody boo Ben Hayes. Boo.
See, I could have swore Ben was in second place last week, at least among us.
And he was talking a lot of trash to me.
And he was. And he had some very hot takes last week, and that clearly did not serve him well.
Lots of trash.
It only takes 1 week to change positions, though.
I shouldn't have been in second place last week.
He's in third.
Because...
Well, of us 3,
He was in second last week.
Last week you were 10-6, Trathan. I was 9-7.
7-9. I did better the second week. I went 9-7.
It's not better than
I thought you did better.
I think I was third both weeks.
I think Shu went like 4 and
yeah,
he did
I had a
something
horrible
bad.
first week.
Like 4 and...
He went 6-10.
4 and 2 or 4 and 12, whatever.
And then I straightened it out. But according to Ben's last video takes, I am above him in the power rankings. Now you can forget week 1. My record's better, so.
I will admit, Shu did win technically week 2, but overall he's.
I would have to throw myself to the bottom of the power rankings if we're making the power rankings. Stop. Let's go. We're not doing this like we did the last video.
Ben, I think you're a solid number 7 on the power ranking.
We're not doing this.
All right. Awesome. We'll just jump right into our first game. We're going to do it last week. I'll go first, then Shu, then Trathan, then Ben, and go clockwise, whatever. You guys get it at this point. All right, first game up on the list, we have the New York Giants going to the San Francisco 49ers. Man, is this a question? Is this going to be another 40-0 blowout from a great defense onto the Giants? It could be. I'm not going to say it is because I think the Giants are at least looking a little bit better, but 100% the 49ers are taking this home.
Yeah, 49ers all the way.
I like the Giants. They're not great. I think they're a team you can root for, especially because they have Jalen Hyatt. But this isn't even a question. 49ers by at least 3 scores.
So take the over. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think you have to take the 49ers in this one. This is just one of the most powerful teams in the league.
Well, there you go. Look at that. Simple and to the point. We love it. We'll move on fiercely to our second game of the Atlanta Falcons at the Detroit Lions. Shu?
Lions are going to eat those birdies.
I honestly think so. I know Shu had a lot to say about who America's team is now. But as far as popularity, and you can't hate them, the Lions personally are America's team, in my opinion. Everybody loves the Lions. Nobody hates the Lions, unless, of course, you're a Vikings fan, but that's understandable. I'm taking the Lions over the Birds all day.
I think I'm going to contradict the rest of the team here. I'm going to go with the team so far. I haven't forgot about you, Dawson. The Falcons' air defense is pretty good as far as yards per attempt. It's a little bit over average. I like that. I don't think that the Lions are going to have much of a rushing attack because they have not involved Gibbs very much in the rushing game. Despite even Montgomery going out earlier in the game this past week, I don't think they're going to run that much. I think they're going to try and keep it through the air, and I think they're going to get met by an Atlanta defense that's going to be able to hold them. I like Bijan in the birdies.
I really like the takes from both of y'all. I think this is actually going to be a really fun game to watch up there with just kind of, I think it's going to be just a really fun game between these two teams. Ben, I'm actually going to agree with you. I think with the injuries of the Lions this week is kind of piling up to where maybe the Atlanta Falcons can squeeze out a 3-0 victory. And it's kind of hesitant for me to say because I think the Falcons are a lower tier team, power rankings wise. But the Lions, I mean, they have C.J. Gardner-Johnson out this next week. David Montgomery's not going to be 100%. He might be back, but he might not be 100%. Amon-Ra suffered a minor injury, so that could impact his performance at an already great secondary of the Falcons. And that might just allow the Falcons to squeeze out this victory, and I'm going to give it to them just because I do see the Lions doing well in other games. But the Falcons are kind of on a streak right now. I didn't doubt them week 1. I didn't doubt them week 2. When everybody else doubted them, I'm not doubting them in week 3. We're going with the Falcons.
Right now, honestly, I think the Falcons are my biggest problem. And I probably should have thought about that because I have bet against the Falcons both weeks and have lost both weeks.
No, you die on the hill you stand on, Trathan. You know.
I'm still sticking with the Lions, though, baby. I love me some of those kitties. Wait a second. You can't say those.
We're not cutting that one either. But we also have another very interesting game. I think two teams that have performed below standards of what people expected with them. The Los Angeles Chargers and the Minnesota Vikings are facing head-on-head in this next game. Trathan, what are your thoughts?
Vikings look fantastic. They are 0-2, yes, but fantastic nonetheless. With that being said, J. Herb and the Chargers are going to strap it on this week, go into Minnesota, and strike the Vikings with some lightning. Chargers take this one. You're muted.
Well, I didn't say anything yet. I'm not saying anything. Whenever you look at this game, I think it's really a question of offenses and how you think that offense is going to particularly perform. Looking at the Chargers over the first two games, it's pretty evident that they are a run-first team. They really love to run, especially when Austin Eckler was there week 1. I think he's going to return. It's more of a higher-powered Chargers type of offense than it was the first time. They like to give out some different looks whenever they're running the ball. Minnesota is actually one of the worst run defenses in the league. They give 4.1 yards per carry to the opposing offense whenever they are running the ball. I think the Chargers are going to run this down their throat. I like the Chargers.
This one's a tough one because I think the Vikings are favored. I'm sure Shu has the betting odds in front of him, but I believe
they are favored by half a point.
By half a point. And so I was actually originally was going back and forth on this one. I'm looking at these teams. Honestly, the thing I'm looking at most is what team do I most likely see going 0-3. That's kind of how I'm looking at it, is like what team can I see the momentum for them just die out and die out and die out. And I see a better future in the season for the Minnesota Vikings than I do for the Los Angeles Chargers. I've not doubted the Chargers last 2 weeks. Or sorry, I didn't doubt them last week. I should have, obviously, with the result. I think Minnesota's air offense, especially Justin Jefferson, killing it, has not got a touchdown yet. I think he's going to change it this week with a couple touchdowns. I think Kirk Cousins has looked really good. You say what you want about their defense, and especially in the run game defense, but the Minnesota Vikings really are explosive, and they really showed it last game. And if again, this is kind of purely based on the rest of the season, to be honest with you, because I think that this game could go either way. It honestly could. But it's in Minnesota. If Minnesota's going to get a win anytime soon, not anytime soon, but at least within the first 4 games, it's got to be here. I'm taking the Vikings.
With all of that, Dawson, I just want to phase back to that power ranking really quick.
Mm-hmm.
You say that you rank them. He's like going down softly, but it's also who do you think is going to win if they go head to head? And I think we were pretty close. So, and I believe you and I both had the Chargers above the Vikings. So it's
I had the Vikings above Chargers.
Did you? Okay.
10-11.
So that's just mine. But that also gives it away. I'm taking the Chargers. I have the Chargers above the Vikings, and this week that's pretty much how all of mine went. I stuck with whoever was higher on my power rankings. I put them in for the win because I believe that the higher up team should win the game.
I would overall agree with that. And I'm not, before I start a whole tangent about the power rankings and how I do them, I don't necessarily do it based on who's gonna win in a single game. Because to be honest, I could see a lot of teams on the lower ends beating the Saints. I could see the Rams beating the Saints. I could see all that, but I don't do it necessarily based on that. I just do it based on momentum and how good they looked. Yes, it can correspond to wins, but which actually has worked out here for me because the Vikings are one above. So take that as you will. But interesting. Okay, great for me that you are taking.
And so I guess the final little part is I'm gonna go with what Gerb said, and Herbert's gonna put on his strap on and beat the Vikings. I mean, strap it on. I mean, what?
I really do hope Herbert has a good game here. I really do. I'll be honest with you. I want to see the Chargers do well. They're my second favorite team in the division, obviously, after the Broncos. But I want to see them perform well. But I just don't see them doing it. At least not winning the game. Anyway, moving on, we have the Saints, the New Orleans Saints, going to Green Bay and facing off against the Packers. So the Packers are staying in the NFC South in terms of their games. Ben, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think this is an interesting game whenever you look at it. Jamal Williams is out. That means they are going down the list, the Saints are, in their running game. I think that they're probably going to try and keep this a little bit more in the air. Maybe get Taysom Hill involved a little bit. But I do think the Packers will be able to eke by him in this one. Jordan Love will get back on track. Got a little bit of a bad taste in their mouth after losing to the Falcons last week. I think the Green Bay Packers get it done.
Ben, straight up, just going to agree with you. Packers, I think I kind of doubted them a little bit last week, and I barely skated by. Of course, they did face the Falcons, so obviously I wasn't wrong in saying that. But I think facing off at the Saints, who are kind of a team that's struggling a little bit. They're getting the wins barely, but eventually it's going to run out. I think the Packers are a team that are a very high ceiling right now. They're going up. They're performing well. They're looking well. They're not always getting the wins, but they're performing well. I see the Packers beating the New Orleans Saints this week.
Go Pack Go. The Saints are marching into a bloodbath. Packers by 20.
I can't disagree. I think the Packers are going to beat the Saints, and I think the Saints are 2-0 in two very close games. I think the Packers lost a game that they probably should have won, but it's the NFL and anything can happen. But with that being said, I think the Packers have the Saints. I don't see the Saints going 3-0.
Excellent. Moving on to a divisional game, the Houston Texans are traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. And this is me this time. Again, Jacksonville's going to take it. The Texans are one of the worst teams in the NFL. I do see them eventually eking out a divisional win. It could be against the Jaguars. I'm not going to predict it because after how bad the Arizona Cardinals burned me, I'm not going to just make some bold prediction of a random bad team winning unless it's another bad team. I'm taking Jaguars.
Yep, I'm taking the Jaguars over the Texans. I predict by the end of the season, the Texans and Cardinals are sitting one of them at 1-17 and one at 0-18 because they meet each other once. I believe.
I'm taking the Houston. No, I'm just kidding. No, Jacksonville Jaguars all the way.
You got me excited a little bit.
Yeah. See, I hate this for the Texans because they are such a young team. And I think they're very talented in skill positions. I think C.J. Stroud has looked good in his starts. I think the receivers are good. Nico Collins has shown some promise. Rookie Tank Dell has done well. Dameon Pierce is good. Devin Singletary is a good complement to that. The problem with the Texans is that O-line. It is most definitely that O-line. It's already one of the more middle of the pack offensive lines when fully healthy, but the fact that they're all on IR, it is absurd. It is absurd. They're all out. So now you're looking at just a complete O-line full of backups. I just can't see the Texans being able to do anything against this Jag squad.
Pretty simple consensus there. Moving on to the game I really don't want to say, but the Denver Broncos heading to Miami and facing off against the Dolphins. All right, Ryan, take us away.
Hate this. Dolphins over the Broncos. I want the Dolphins to win. Dolphins over Broncos. Whatever.
Well, while Shu hates it, I love it. The team that will win the AFC East starts the year 3-0.
Yeah, I think we all picked the Broncos the first 2 weeks consensusly. I think we're all about to do the exact opposite this time and go with the Dolphins. I'm tired of getting burnt by the Broncos. Go Fins. Go Fins.
Man, is it bad that I actually really tossed up this game as a game that the Broncos could win?
Yes. Yes.
Pretty bad.
I think here's my quick tangent about the Broncos because coming from a Broncos fan, the Broncos have looked a lot better, and I think people give them credit for it offensively. The exact opposite problem from last year. Because I mean, Russell Wilson's completion percentage is like up in the 70%, near 70%. He's completing his passes. He's even with the receivers that he has. The defense is just struggling, man. And against a high-powered Dolphins offense, it's really hard to kind of justify that or justify the Broncos winning, which is the exact reason why I'm going with the Broncos this week, and I am locking that in because I think this is a trap game for the Dolphins. I do. I think this is a 2-0 team that's feeling that they're on top of the world, and this is actually a genuine thing. This is not me putting my Broncos bias in here. I'll be honest with you. I think
That's what I would say too.
I think the Dolphins are 2-0, and they've looked really good the first week. They looked not as good the second week, but granted, it was against a good defense. The Broncos are supposed to have good defense. Sean Payton outwardly said something's going to change this next week. I'll probably die on this hill for the Broncos this week, and I'll probably get burned from it, and I'm okay with that. If I'm confident in one thing, it's what's called Patrick Surtain keeping up with Tyreek Hill and at least locking that down at least a little bit. Not locking him down, not saying he's going to lock him down and keep him away, but in making him struggle a little bit because it's one of the best corners against one of the best receivers. Jalen Waddle's kind of had a questionable injury. He's going to play anyway, so I don't doubt that. But and honestly, the thing that the Broncos get burned on the most the first two games is pretty much the run game, especially last game, I should say, more so than the Raiders game. But if there's something we can maybe do, it's in the secondary, and maybe that's where we can help quell the Dolphins at least a little bit and keep our offense in that same motion. It's going to burn me. I'm okay with that. I'm not just going in here cocky and saying that this is a lock. This is definitely not a lock, and I'm just going to stick with them this week. And if they don't, they'll prove me wrong. I'm just hoping they don't go the 0-4 route, and that's really what I'm kind of looking for here. Taking the Broncos. Moving on. We got the Tennessee Titans going to Cleveland and taking on the Browns. Fun game here. Trayton, you want to start us off?
Yes. As the resident Titans fan, this is a
Oh, you're breaking
good
up.
Browns team.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry. As the resident Tennessee Titans fan, this is a good Browns team, and that's exactly why I'm taking the Tennessee Titans. Because I think this Browns team is fantastic. I think they did great against Cincinnati in week 1. A little less so against the Steelers week 2. I think the Titans are riding the high road after beating what was supposed to be one of the best teams in the NFL last week. I think their momentum will carry them into this Browns game. I think their defense will shut this piss-poor Browns offense down without Nick Chubb. And I honestly don't see the Tennessee offense doing much. Maybe with the run they'll be able to do a little bit, but I think it's just enough to get them over this Cleveland Browns team.
This is a very interesting game because when you look at these two teams, you see some similarities. Both teams have 2 of the top 5 run defenses in yards per carry. The Browns giving up 3.2 per carry. Titans giving up 2.7. However, I will say the Browns have faced 2 of the weaker of the rushing teams with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Najee Harris is just not having a good season at all right now. And they also beat the Bengals with a Joe Mixon who has not averaged 4 yards per carry since before 2022. With that being said, I think they're meeting their first test as a run defense against Derrick Henry. I don't doubt them as a pass defense, but neither team has a strong passing offense, with the Browns only averaging about 5.6 yards per completion. I don't see it being very good for the Browns offense at all. They're going to try and run the ball with Jerome Ford, possibly Kareem Hunt some. I don't think it's going to go well for them. I don't think they're going to score much at all. I think the Titans pull out a nasty, grimy win like they should have in week 1.
Dang. Yeah, this is also a tough game. I think the Titans have proven that they're a little bit better than maybe they were initially given. The Browns, I think, again, Nick Chubb going down does hurt. 100%. Not going to claim it doesn't. But if there's a position you lose from a great player from, running back's where you want it to be from. Just that's how the NFL is. It's just that running backs are more defined by their O lines in a lot of cases. Nick Chubb is a really good running back, but if there's a position they had to lose at this point, it was that. I'm honestly kind of up in the air right now because it's a good points from the Titans fans here. I can't doubt the Cleveland Browns though. I got to go Cleveland here. Honestly, I'm kind of hesitant saying that because I don't necessarily think Deshaun Watson is doing all too well, and I think that momentum can kind of carry him into another bad loss or their first bad loss of the season with the Tennessee Titans. Then who knows? And already with a couple of my bold picks here, I'm getting myself down a train where I don't want to keep on getting these L's, but I am going to choose the Cleveland Browns here.
I think Tennessee's going to tighten up down to Browntown and then get stomped thoroughly by Cleveland. Cleveland over the Titans.
At least I'm not
You
alone.
had me going there in the first half, not gonna lie.
I saw both your faces smile. I was like, oh, I got him.
At least I'm not alone.
I know, Browns.
All right, moving on to the Buffalo Bills taking on the Washington Commanders. Ben, this is all you.
I'm only going to say one word, Bills. That's it.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of say a couple more words.
That's 8 words.
I'm going to say a couple more words, but the Bills are looking more like the Bills. Commanders are a middling team who's faced not much competition given the Bills.
Commanders, or I guess Washington in general, hide your folding tables because Bills Mafia is coming to town and they're breaking more than just tables. Bills over the Commanders.
Dang.
So you remember what I said in the video we did not too long ago about the Commanders being, I think they're struggling in the first 2 weeks against bad teams, and I think they'll get it together. Yeah, throw that in the trash. It's Bills all day.
Had us in the first half. Is this who can do the best swerve at this point? Is this who's building it up for the best swerve?
It really is.
I don't think any. No, that's fair. Moving on to the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Baltimore Ravens. I'm keeping it very simple. I'm going to say Ravens. I don't even know what to really say here, other than the Ravens have just looked really good and exceeded my expectations, and I'm not going to doubt them against a team they should beat, especially at home. So Ravens.
Ravens. Move it on.
Honestly, this was probably the toughest one for me. I think this is a good Ravens team. I don't think this is a good Colts team. But I feel like the Colts are kind of a good counter to the Ravens. With that being said, I'm still got to take the Ravens. Can't trust Anthony Richardson that much against the Ravens defense, especially with that pass rush. So yeah, I got to take the Ravens.
3 words. Ravens.
Oh,
There you
colon.
go.
I see the colon there. Okay, I got you. Moving on to the New England Patriots taking on the New York Jets. Fitting that Shoe's taking us on here.
For the first week, confidently I can say Patriots winning this game.
All right.
That's real nice and swell of you, but I'm going to have to disagree. Zach Wilson, the MILF Slayer, is back in action. They're in New York. The Patriots aren't ready for that man. He's coming for the whole defense's moms. I'm taking the Jets.
This is a really interesting game because you're looking at two pretty solid defenses with a couple lackluster type of offenses. However, the Patriots offense has showed a lot of light over the past couple of weeks. They just couldn't get it done against the Dolphins and the Eagles. I think they will get it done this week. Mac Jones is finally going to get his first win of the season, and maybe people will stop disrespecting him a little bit.
Now he needs disrespecting.
That's fair. That's fair. Honestly, but you know who needs this? Who needs disrespecting a little bit more? Actually, no, he doesn't. Actually, Zach Wilson's grown up a lot since last season already.
I think with Aaron Rodgers in his corner, he is, as the season progresses, going to improve drastically. He hasn't had. I mean, the only veteran presence he has had the past 2 years has been Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco was good for 3 seasons. One of those, his defense carried him to a Super Bowl. I think having a guaranteed lock Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers coming in, even with him not playing, having him teach Zach Wilson, a young quarterback who was selected number 2 overall. You can't forget that, selected number 2 overall, just wants to prove to everybody that, hey, I was selected number 2 overall for a reason. I think as the season goes on, he's going to improve, and I think it starts this week.
I'm going to say this, and this is my justification for. And you said Patriots, right? I'm guessing you did.
Yes.
I kind of zoned out for a second. Just to confirm, I'm going to agree with Ben and Shu here with the Patriots because I think the Patriots overall are just a team you have to perform well against. Like I don't feel like the Patriots ever have their own down game. They always perform decently well, if that makes sense. They always keep up, and so I feel like if a team has a down game and they're facing the Patriots, the Patriots are going to capitalize and win that game. And I feel like the Jets. I think Zach Wilson will develop. I do think he'll do better, but I don't think it's against a Patriots team who punishes bad play. That's how I kind of see it. And Christian Gonzalez, I don't think he's got a pick this year yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shu. I don't think he's got a pick yet this year. Might be his first pick this year. It might be a pick 6. So that's my bold. That's not a bold take. It's my parlay, guaranteed to hit. Watch my parlay video. But I'm going with the Patriots.
I'm just gonna say this. Last year, Zach Wilson said he saw ghosts when playing the Patriots, and I don't think he's found his paranormal investigator yet. The ghosts are still coming for him, and he's not beating the Patriots. I mean, I don't care who's in your corner.
Yeah, but Zach Wilson has been doing ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers this offseason, so I think the ghosts are long gone.
No, I think he's seeing more than ghosts.
I think he's seeing more ghosts now.
What you said,
Just the
Ben?
head man.
You know that's why Rodgers broke his Achilles, right? It's because he took ayahuasca, according to some reporters.
That makes sense.
Oh, bold statement.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the Carolina
Oh,
Panthers.
no, sorry. He does. Christian Gonzalez does have 1 interception against Miami.
Really interesting. I didn't see that. Nice.
I didn't
Good.
know that either.
Good for him. Well, he's gonna get his
does have
second pick
1.
today. He's gonna get a second pick in that game. The Carolina Panthers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Trayton, does your guest want to give your pick for you?
Yes, if my dog would get on my.
The dog can do the pick. Let it pick.
Well, if that's the case, she's taking the Seahawks all day.
Okay, perfect.
I hate that Panthers are sort of in a same situation as the Texans, not near as bad, but it's still their O-line is such a downfall for them. It is really bad, and it's upsetting because you can see Bryce Young is making these connections with Adam Thielen.
When he's not lining up behind the wrong line.
Yeah.
Yes, he
Dang.
had a lineup behind the wrong lineman. But
Dang.
he is making connections with some of his receivers. It's really unfortunate. I cannot see the Panthers pulling this game out.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I really want to root for the Panthers, but I'm kind of in that. I'm kind of getting that category where they're not quite as bad as the bottom four teams, but almost I feel like I can't bet against any team they play against, except for the bottom four teams. Maybe division rivals you can argue, but they can't get anything going right now, and it's not necessarily Bryce Young's fault. It's not Bryce Young's fault. I think he's playing well given the circumstances. I just against a Seahawks team who showed that they can play last week, and hopefully they keep that up. It's going to be hard to keep up with them. I'm going Seahawks as well.
Yeah, the 12th man's going to keep that stadium rocking. Seahawks over Panthers.
We love the consensus picks. We can all be friends, right? We all
No.
I think the next few picks are going to change that friendship.
Really? Okay. You think the Chicago Bears are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Because that's the next game on the list.
Of the week.
What'd you say, Ben?
It's an upset pick of the week right there.
Go for it. Go. You got it, Ben.
No, I think I'm going to pick the Chiefs. I'm going to be sane.
I am also going to choose to be sane. Justin Fields, I just don't see it anymore in him. If there's a team I believe less in now going into the season than I did, the Chiefs, or not Chiefs, the Bears are one of them. Going Chiefs here.
Yep, Chiefs over Bears.
I think Chicago is angry. And I think that anger is going to lead them right into a loss at Arrowhead.
I love
Bears.
Traython's just chilling at his lead right now. He's like, I'm just gonna take the safe picks. I don't have to. You guys.
Yeah, I'm not hedging my bets or anything. Like all these picks I pick, I do sit down and I'm like,
yeah.
Like I look at it, but I just like doing the false intro, and I vote with the statistics and the analytics, but I really want to do an underdog one day. And if I get a 20-point lead over you guys, then I might pick the underdog. No, I'm just kidding. I have picked 3 underdogs so far. So
you can pick another one right here with the Dallas Cowboys going to Arizona. Because I doubted them last week.
You know what? Josh Dobbs is the most intelligent man to ever walk on the field in the NFL. If anybody can pick apart that defense, it is Josh Dobbs. Aerospace engineer. Tell me who else in the NFL has been an aerospace engineer.
It's funny.
Tell me anyone that has went into the NFL that could literally quit the NFL and go make more money at NASA right now.
At NASA,
man is intelligent.
You can be intelligent doesn't mean you know how to play football as well as other people.
I don't know. Have you seen him the past 2? He's led a very crappy Cardinals offense to almost 2 wins. Almost 2 wins.
Yeah.
I give the run game really helped them last game.
Only horseshoes.
The run game really helped them last game.
He was the run game. Did you see that touchdown?
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
Man was literally talking about he used physics.
Listen, if you're talking
physics in the middle of a play.
If you're talking about trap game, go ahead.
Did you not see that interview after the game where he was like, I was literally just he was talking about physics. He was like, I don't remember what he said. He was like, a movable force is gonna run through. He was talking about how he used physics in the middle of the game to decide what he wanted to do right there for that rushing touchdown.
Dude, good for him and his collegiate experience. He learned more in the classroom than he did on the field. So good for him. I think eventually the Cardinals are gonna have to get a win. Why can't it be against the Cowboys? Oh, wait. Probably,
are you being
probably because they're the top 3 team in the NFL. I'm going Cowboys. They're going to destroy the Cardinals. I'm not betting on the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals are going to fly around a little bit, and the Cowboys are going to pull out their shotgun of an offense. Miss because their shotgun offense sucks. They're going to flip a nickel and a dime defense up there and take the Cardinals out of the sky. Cowboys.
I didn't even say my pick for this game, but I don't even think I have to.
I have to.
You're picking the Cardinals, right?
No.
Oh, sorry. I wrote down Cardinals. Hold up. I already wrote down Cardinals. Sorry, bro.
No.
So I have had the Cowboys locked in since I made my picks earlier today. I just talked myself into selecting the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals upset the Cowboys in one of the biggest upsets of the season. I'm taking the Cards. I have a big enough. I have a big enough lead,
against you guys that I'm going to do what I want. I'm setting it out right there right now. I'm just laying it out there. Cardinals beat Cowboys.
Trayton just put his whole dick on the table. His whole ass dick.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
And it's
Oh.
gonna shrivel back up come Sunday around 5 o'clock.
Oh my gosh.
Look, my reason behind it is this. Like, I had the Cowboys locked in, and I just thought, I was like, the Cardinals' defense isn't great. Cowboys' offense isn't great either. I think if Dobbs can mount, stay consistent at least against the Cowboys defense, I honestly think this is a good counter for that Cowboys team. It's a team that doesn't have a great offense or doesn't have a great defense against a not great offense, but it's also a team who has surprised us so far these past 2 weeks with their offense. Now, granted, they have lost both of those games, but I think if the Cardinals can come out there and run something that not necessarily a trick play, but switch it up often enough, I think if they can get a confusing look from the Cowboys defense 1 or 2 drives, that I honestly think that they can come out and win this game.
If the Cowboys defense wasn't so elite on the defensive line, and to actually say Joshua Dobbs would have enough time to do that, I would give you a little bit more benefit of the doubt. But the Cowboys pass rush is so
We'll
good.
see next week.
If I swear, if I picked the Cardinals to win last week and they fucking blew it against the Giants, and you pick them this week against the fucking Cowboys, I'm gonna fucking flip. I'm going to. You know what? No. You know what, Ben? We talked about this. This is my lock of the week. This is not happening. The Cowboys are destroying the Cardinals, and I will dump a bucket of water over my head in front of this camera next week. Obviously, away from the equipment. A cold bucket of water over my head next week if the Cardinals beat the Cowboys. 100% lock of the week. God, I swear to God, if you get rewarded for this shit. Moving on. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. Oh yeah, this is Shu's turn.
This is me?
This is you. Last 3 games.
Steel City, baby. Steelers over the Raiders.
Rack City, bitch.
I think it's in Vegas. I think Jimmy G has something to prove with this new revamped Raiders team. They didn't play great last week, but they played good the first week. I think they're going to go back to their winning ways like they had in week 1. Pittsburgh has a good defense. Now that I'm thinking about it, no, I'm sticking with the Raiders. I'm going with my gut choice. I've already switched once. I'm not switching again. I'm taking the Raiders. This is the week where I go from first place to last place.
This is honestly, in my opinion, the toughest game to pick on the week. I think that Raiders have a lot of talent on offense, and they can get it done in the passing game. But the Steelers' defense is really good, and I feel like Mike Tomlin could drag them into a Steelers-esque type of game. And if he's able to do that, I don't see how the Steelers lose. I think that this is the week Josh Jacobs is finally going to break out a huge 40-point fantasy game. Give me the Raiders.
Oh, damn, okay. Damn, fuck, I wrote this in pen, Ben. Shit. Stop swerving me.
That was my first swerve of the day.
Y'all stop swerving me. I've had to do like 3 times now. Man. This is a tough one. Because I doubt the Raiders all the time, because if you watch my previous video, the Raiders are my least favorite team of all time. So I'm always going to doubt them. But I hate to say it, but I'm actually going to go with the Steelers here. I think... man, now I'm doubting myself right here. I'm not gonna change. I'm gonna lock in Steelers. This could go either way. Kenny Pickett has looked kind of everywhere. He looked bad first week. He looked better the second week. And I do think the pass rush of the Raiders is good. So it might be another week where he might get a little pressured. But I can't doubt the Steelers. It might be a lower scoring game. And I think the Kenny Pickett can get at least a little bit of momentum going into a win against the Raiders. Actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, betting odds guy over there, shoot, but the Steelers are actually the underdogs in this game. Answer.
False.
False? Okay. At least I had it on
At
my
least I
website.
know
Steelers are the 1 point favorite.
1 point favorite. I think on the website I had it was like they were like a 0.5, 1 point underdog or whatever. But
it's
On
probably
the
off
pick
close.
on the pick'em league we are using, it says the Steelers are favored at that point.
gotcha. So it's obviously changing. It's obviously a little bit up in the air for both ends. I'm gonna go Steelers here though. I think Mike Tomlin. I think he can lead them to a victory. They should win. So we'll go with the Steelers here. Moving on to the Eagles at the Buccaneers. Trayson, it's all you.
I really like the Bucks. I like how Baker Mayfield has overcame so many odds this season. I think him and his whole team, with the injuries, has done some fantastic work. But this is the Philadelphia Eagles, so I'm taking the Eagles.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are. I think the buck kind of stops here. Because we're
The
Bucks. But yeah, it.
But
I just don't see it happening. That defense is so overpowered, and I just don't think the Bucks defense is going to be able to stop 10,000 different weapons at the same time.
If you've seen that there's like a pie chart of Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield plays against subpar teams and wins. People get hyped. People get excited. Plays against a good team, looks awful. Cycle repeats. That's kind of what Baker Mayfield kind of is gonna do. This is the first real good team, like really good team. Minnesota Vikings are good, so I'll give them that. But this is an elite team. They're now facing off with the big boys, and I think that's. This is where the dream ends. This is where my dreams of Baker Mayfield fade into the ether.
Your fantasies, no, not dreams. Your fantasies.
My fantasies, my fantasy football specific. No, I'm just kidding. The fantasies of Baker Mayfield. It's finally gonna. It's not gonna be happy ever
Jesus.
after. What's that phrase? Happy ever after. There we go. Shit. Fuck. It's gonna come crashing down. I am choosing the Eagles here.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Right into a cannonball from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Eagles.
Wow. I thought my pick was crazy.
So at least all three of us, or at least I don't know if Ben has an outlandish pick yet, but I chose the Broncos. You got the Buccaneers, then you got the fucking Arizona Cardinals over there. Ben, what was your outlandish pick?
I don't think I've had too many outlandish picks.
Oh yeah,
this
you're
week.
recovering.
I'm trying to do well and get out of last place. All of my
I'm
picks
trying to-
are related.
I'm trying to do well too, and my God, I believe in the Arizona Cardinals.
Hey, you know what,
Every
Ben?
team's got to lose. It's the modern NFL. No more 16 of those Super Bowl seasons. I think if there's a team that the Cowboys are going to lose to, it's the Josh Dobbs Cardinals.
In the third week. Damn.
The team we're going to lose to would be the San Francisco 49ers here in a few weeks.
Hey Ben, if you want to reverse your pick and go for an outlandish pick, we'll let you take the Bears for the Chiefs. I mean, I think we can. I think we'll make an exception.
No, I'm good. Seriously, I'm good.
Well, now we're moving on.
Bears with a 10-foot pole.
We're moving on to me, I guess, with the Bengals and Rams. Is that correct, Dawson?
I think it's actually
Or is-
Ben. Thank you very much. If you don't want to
it's
steal,
Ben.
if you don't want
Oh,
to steal
sorry.
my spotlight here, you know me leading this. You don't want to steal it from me, you know, motherfucker. I was kidding.
I'm sorry.
We're hungry. Moving on.
the Los Angeles
Except for
Rams.
Ben, who was late to film because he was already eating dinner.
Fair. Los Angeles Rams, Cincinnati Bengals. Ben, give us your takes.
This is tough, but whenever I look at this game, it worries me that Burrow is going to be dealing with this calf injury throughout the whole season. It almost looks like this is a soft tissue injury. This is going to linger all season. That is what worries me a lot about the Bengals. At the same time, I don't know if the Rams can necessarily hold up against the Bengals. I'm not sure that they can. I'd just say the Bears.
At least the Bengals.
Okay. Anyways,
That's your subconscious, Ben. It's your subconscious. It's telling you
Yep,
go
that
back.
means hey, put them down for the Bears over the Chiefs.
they're trying to gaslight me over here.
There's no such thing as gaslighting.
Yes, there is. I'm trying
Nope.
to think.
No, there's not. You're crazy.
Will take this game. I think
It's
Joe
the
Burrow
Bears?
is going to struggle if he plays, dealing with that.
The Bears are
injury.
gonna take this game.
You just said the Bears, Ben.
I said the Rams, but it's okay.
Oh, he said the Rams. Okay.
All right.
So wait, which team are you picking?
I said the Rams. Stop trying to
Rams
gaslight me.
Rams. Okay.
All right, Rams, wrote it down.
Like I said, there's no such thing as gaslighting. You're making it up.
All right, Ben, go. Stop it. Just go. Fucking go.
You already wait. Pick the Rams.
I'm
Go,
waiting
dog.
for his
Get the
I'm waiting for his justification. But that's what we're here
He
for.
said the Rams.
I just picked. I just
4
picked.
times you said the Rams.
I'm asking for his explanation. I thought he had more to say. I'm being a polite person.
That's a first.
I think that either way this goes, Burrow's going to struggle if he's injured. And if Burrow's not playing, then the Bengals as a whole are going to struggle.
This is where the power rankings in my mind. The Bengals are 8. The what's it called? The Rams are like 25 right now. This is where one of those moments I'm choosing the team that's going to be under them. I'm choosing the Rams. They're up and coming. They're rising up the power rankings. The Bengals are falling. Momentum's fully on the Rams side. It's in Cincinnati, and Cincinnati is still favored to win. But I agree with Ben, and Joe Burrow's injury does make me a little bit nervous. The lack of production overall from the receivers, minus like one each game. T. Higgins last game, of course, and then no receivers the first game. The run game is just not the same with the Cincinnati Bengals anymore. The Rams have looked really good on their offense and can score the points. It's not a matter of I think the Bengals can't score points. I think it's a matter of fact that I think the Rams have shown that they can score a lot of points, and especially against good defenses. And the Bengals don't. They have a above average defense, I guess. I mean, I don't think it's a notable defense, but I think I'm going Rams here. I just can't. That puts the Bengals at 0-3, and that makes me feel really bad because I started saying, man, Bengals are gonna have the year of the Bengal this year, when in fact they might just kind of be deteriorating. Go Rams.
Mind you, if Burrow does not play, Jake Browning will be getting the start.
Yeah.
I think a couple of Rams escaped from the petting zoo, and the Bengals are about to ambush them. Bengals over Rams this week. Threw in a little word play there. No one probably caught, but a group of tigers is called an ambush.
Look at you go.
I just looked that up. That's the only reason I knew it.
Fun fact of the day.
Google.
The fun fact.
Shoot, you're notoriously bad at this. But you're doing better than Ben, and you have the same record as Dawson. So I'm going to agree with you on this. It's still the year of the Bengal, baby. They have struggled the first 2 weeks. Even if Burrow don't play, they still got fantastic receivers. I'm taking the Bengal. I think it's still the year of the Bengal, and I think the Bengals get this one. I think the Bengals. I can't see the Bengals going 0-3. I can't, especially against a Rams team who, yes, has exceeded expectations, but I can't see it. I'm going Bengals all day.
Trayton, how would you feel if the Broncos had a better record than the Bengals? Because I think that's what's going to happen.
I would. Hey, listen. I know this is probably bad to say, but as much as I said the Bengals are playing, I did in fact take Joe Burrow out of my starting roster on fantasy and put Brock Purdy in. So, but I'm still trusting those Bengals.
He's trusting those Bengals to put up like 5 points, a safety and a field goal. Well, excellent.
Okay, if that's the case, I think it's going to be 5-3.
You know,
I think it's going to be 1-0.
This week we had
a drop kick.
We had a few consensus, but we actually had a lot of disagreement too. Honestly, this week, a lot of different varying points. So this is going to be an interesting week for the leaderboard, and I'm excited to see that when I rise up the rankings and catch up to Trayton this week. I'm going to call it right here, right now. But
this will be Dawson's sound next week after that comment.
This week
you're still 4 games
back. Showing on the rankings, I think we're gonna start separating from each other after this week. There's been enough.
You don't think Trayton separated enough? You don't think Trayton's four games is separate enough?
Yeah, that's me having to lose 4 games and Dawson having to win 4 games. I think that's a pretty big separation already. But when my Cardinals win and my Bengals win, it's going to be even bigger of a separation. So I think that's what he means by this is the week of the separation.
Well, now that Dawson has locked it as the Cowboys are winning, that's his lock. There's not a way. There's not a way, dude. Sorry. That's
See?
just how this goes.
You know, it's host privileges, you know.
Okay.
All right.
Well, yeah.
Dawson takes part in the NFL script. He knows what's happening. That's cheating.
Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Who do you agree with the most? Honestly, there's some hot takes here from each team, except for Ben because he's being safe and stuff like that. Oh well. Thank you guys for watching. Please put down your predictions down below and play along with us and show us what your record is. Thank you guys for watching. StraightA Dawson, out.